welcome to America's Dance 30 for the first time.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
It is awesome finally having you on the show. Now, we've known each other for a while through DMs and through socials, but we didn't meet for the first time in real life until EDC Vegas last year, was it?
That's right, yeah.
And then we got to hang out at Red Rocks for your amazing performance with Morgan Madison and K5, which was great.
Oh my gosh,
But
so fun.
This is the official first chat that we're having because I wanted to have you on AD30 because of your amazing new song and the story behind it.
Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to talk all about One More Day coming up and find out how it was born. But before we do that, of course, we've got to get to know Linney a little better with Finky's firsts.
Okay.
So I've told you this multiple times, but I'm going to do it in video so it is recorded forever. You know that I love your voice. Everything about your voice is just so amazing. Don't blush too much. Was being a singer the first thing you wanted to be growing up?
I would say yes. I was one of those strange kids who at 4 was like, I'm going to sing and write songs for a living. I have no idea how, but let's figure it out. I feel like I'm figuring it out. My parents are scientists, so they were like, okay, voice lessons, piano lessons. Okay, what happens now? We're not sure. But
I'd say you're figuring it out too, but you decided at 4?
I was writing songs about zoo animals. They were not very good, but I was that kid, and I went to a very small school, and the teachers all wanted to support me in that journey, but the kids did not like that I was getting that attention.
Of course.
So I got made fun of a lot.
Join the club. Thinking back, not when I was that young, but just thinking back to high school, it was why does high school have to be such a brutal time for everybody?
I don't know. I do love watching TV shows about high school now. I mean, maybe because I wish that my experience was a little different, but yeah, it's true.
Now, besides your own incredible music, of course, you've done songs with big names like Gareth Emery, Morgan Madison, Tritonal. You did one with the legend Robbie Rivera. Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
First a dance song
No, first song about zoo animals.
There's one about monkeys or something. I do remember I was too scared in 6th grade to tell the boy that I had a crush on him, but I was somehow willing to sing a song that I'd written about it in front of the whole school. And so I realized then that I'm kind of shy actually, but music makes me feel like I have this sort of superpower, will you? Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Now, did you play the song for the boy?
Oh, for the entire middle school, yeah.
That is incredible. I remember, I want to say one of the first girls that I had a crush on, I remember leaving a note in her locker and then having to wait all day for her to get that note. It was so brutal.
That's so cute.
And then when she finally acknowledged it, I didn't speak to her.
What did she say?
No, that's how next level shy I was.
Oh.
That I just wouldn't talk. I was so embarrassed. Oh, it was so hard. Anyways, those days are definitely behind me. So, of course, you are a dog parent. I'm not going to hold that against you, but shout out to Louie. Is Louie there?
Sleeping right here by the fire.
Oh, can you just pick him up really quick?
Louie, come here.
Oh, I love Louie. He's going to hate me. Oh my God! Oh my God!
What is happening?
I never realized he was that big.
He thinks he's still 4 pounds, which when we got him, he was the size of his head. We were told he was going to be a mini, and he's not really a mini anymore.
So oh my God, he is so adorable. He's got such amazing characteristics to him. He's like, I just want to go back to bed. Can you?
You're breathing.
Louie?
Say hi.
Oh my God. Now I wish I had Aiden and Tucker to bring into this chat. Oh. Now, do you remember what was the first pet you owned? Or let me rephrase that. The first pet that owned you?
Yeah, better question. I had a cat, actually, named
hi.
Spunky.
Spunky? Oh my God.
I don't really know why. I think I named him when I was 12. He was a tabby, and he was just kind of crazy.
Look at Louie falling asleep. Speaking of names, where did Louie come from?
The name Louie, well, actually, we were trying to think of favorite drummers of Jeff's, and he likes Travis Barker, and we weren't going to name the dog Barker. So we have this...
Oh my God, that would have been epic!
We have this drum head from Louis Belson that his dad gave him. So that's where Louis came from.
Oh, he is so precious. You can, if you want to put him down so you can go to sleep.
Louis was actually born in a boxing gym in Compton.
Like literally popped out there?
Like that was where he was. I guess they were a breeder that also owned a boxing gym, and I was nannying at the time, and I wanted to get a Frenchie, and the family was like, don't get a Frenchie, get a bull terrier, because we have one. Like, we'll trade some dumbbells for Louis, because they had a gym company, and they traded some dumbbells for Louis, and we got him because his mom had bit him, and he like had to be separated from the rest of the puppies.
Oh, but everything happens for a reason. He is so... Look, he's just laying there.
He goes back to sleep in the background.
I honestly think Louie is my favorite new dog. Don't tell my best friend. Finally, in Finky's First, you posted a video showing your dad your brand new song, One More Day. And he had the subtle head bob to it the entire time. Do you remember the first dance song you fell in love with that made you have a subtle head bob?
Probably Every Time We Touch.
Oh my God, Cascada! And she started touring again, which is amazing.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yes. Oh, what an unbelievable song.
It was like enough of like a pop crossover for it to kind of enter my airwaves. And I didn't really even realize that it was a semi-different genre. But yeah, such a jam.
And what's so crazy about that song is it is hard style. Like it is hard trance, but like pop stations are playing it, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your latest piece of art, One More Day. This is such an amazing song, and I can't wait for you to share the story behind it to our AD30 fam, because listening to it, you might think that it's about a relationship, which it isn't, sorta. Share how your new song, One More Day, was born.
Yeah, so when I was 7, my dad had a heart attack that they called a widowmaker because he lost half of his left ventricle, and his ejection fraction, which is the heart pumping efficiency, which is normal around like 50, 75 for a healthy person, it dropped below 30. So he was living with that for a while. He got a pacemaker when I was in high school, beat cancer, unrelated, but still tough guy. And the day before I was set to have this virtual songwriting session with Sarah DeWarren, my dad called and said he'd had an appointment with his heart failure specialist, which is actually what they call them.
God.
His pumping efficiency had fallen below 20. And that is when you start to consider a heart transplant. But being older, he's 80, he is not eligible for that. So he was calling to tell me that there was another option, something that they install for people who are getting transplants. It's temporary. It's called an LVAD machine. They'd have to break his ribs to do it. It would be temporary, but it would give him a little more time. And I remember I was driving on the 405, like into the valley, and I'm like, okay, don't cry. It's okay. But he was like oddly happy and optimistic about this idea. And he was just excited to have an option. He's a very goal-oriented person, so am I. But to have a plan if something got worse. And when we got off the phone, I have this thing called a song seed journal where I put little ideas, and I wrote down nothing I won't do for one more day with you. So when we had the session the next day, I sometimes, I'd never met Sarah. She was in London. I'm in LA. I'm like, well, let me tell you this thing that just happened. I'm like crying, telling her. And she was so receiving to this story. And that was the first song that we wrote together.
That is amazing.
One More Day. We wanted to write it from my dad's perspective. And we were so inspired by his optimism to, do anything he could to have that time.
That's so incredible. And speaking of your dad, you say that he's 80, he's beat cancer, he's dealt with this. He looks absolutely amazing. Like, can you tell me his secrets so I know what to do to look that good at 80?
Honestly, I mean, it was so funny in that video. He was actually chainsawing, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, can I interrupt you to film this video for TikTok?" And he's like, kind of grumpy about it. Like, what are you? Because you can tell he's like kind of camera shy. He's like, why is this camera? Like, I grew up on 10 acres of old farmland in rural North Carolina, and he's building a shed. He's like fixing everything in the house. I don't think he's gonna go as far to like try to fix the roof, but he's like fixing the air ducts and like, we have so many down trees. It helps in the winter to chainsaw them. He always says that his biggest thing is like to never stop learning, to constantly take on new projects and just stay excited.
And he's doing all of that at 80.
Yeah, he still has time to walk the dog at the river walk and.
That is so incredible. And his chainsawing explains the subtle Bob and why he wasn't more into it. Because you don't take a man away from chainsawing. Come on, Linney.
Right. Now, I'm like, wait, the sun is perfect.
Something I love to find out about songs is how many different versions there are from when you start working on it, tweaking it till it's finally put out. How many different V's were there of One More Day, not only from the production aspect, but from the songwriting aspect with Sarah DeWarren?
Interesting. I think honestly, it was pretty much done that first day. I'll do a scratch demo. I love our process. We get on Zoom and we go on mute for 10 minutes and we record our own ideas and then we share them back and forth. And then we kind of Frankenstein the melody together with our two pieces. And then we let that melody kind of inform the lyrics. Sometimes there's little pieces that are we're definitely keeping that. That's the hook. And then we sing some kind of gibberish. And you're like, that actually sounds cool. What are you saying there? So the writing was pretty much done. I think maybe minor timing of the performance. And then at that time, I wasn't signed to a record deal. So I was signed to the publishing deal with Ultra. And the process was to pitch it, to see if there was another artist who wanted to release it. And we had a lot of interest. A lot of people wanted this song. And we even started going down to the details of, okay, well, here's the splits and here's what the artist royalty was. And I was getting offered 5%.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you're a big name, but I can't do that morally.
For such a meaningful song.
So I said no to some people, and I then got offered the record deal, and they were like, these songs are so good. Let's have you tell them, which was just very special. And Helix has given me this platform as a person who's built my career as a featured vocalist. They're giving me this platform to now share my own stories, which is so incredible. And same with you. You're talking to me now here. So thank you.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Helix. I mean, if you would have sent me the song, just on your own, I still would have been talking to you right now.
Well, I appreciate that. It's just people like you who are giving me the opportunity to share my story. So I guess when it comes to production, I worked with Thomas Shaw, who I found out that I'd actually worked with before without knowing. When we got on our first call, he's like, I have a song with you. I'm like, what?
Awkward.
And he's I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but he's in Project 46.
Gotcha.
So I'd had a song with them called Remember, just to remember. So that was amazing. He's helped out with a lot of my songs. And I'd say that we went through 2 rounds of different directions. And that's what
That's
you hear
not
today.
bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Now, I don't know if you can answer this, but since you dropped that bomb about Project 46, can you mention like some of the other vocalists that might have been on it?
Well, they wanted to keep my voice each time. It was different producers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant having somebody else singing it.
That would have been interesting. I've actually never, I would like to do that. Most of the time when I send my songs, they're like, we want you to stay on it. We just want to have the producer.
I don't want to throw this out there, but it goes back to what I said at the top of this interview, which is because your voice is amazing. So they're smart to keep you on it, Linney.
Well, thank you.
Get it in your head. Come on.
Very sweet.
Now, I saw your piano performance of the song, which is amazing. And you did break down explaining the story of it. But is it hard for you to sing songs that are so meaningful like this without breaking down?
Well, in that particular performance, I did start. I'm like, oh gosh, okay,
Pull it together.
And everyone was very sweet. I think when it comes to performing, like I said, I'm actually naturally a pretty shy person. So same with Red Rocks. Like I have to rehearse so many times that it just becomes like muscle memory, because as soon as I'm like, I have this internal narrative. As soon as I start playing, I'm like, oh gosh, don't mess up. What are you doing? Don't cry. I'm like, shush, like, get out of there. Keep playing. So yeah, it just it becomes second nature. Because if I stop to think about it, I'll be like, what are the lyrics to my song?
Now, I don't know if you're the same way, but, and somebody actually asked me about this the other day, if I like to plan everything out. And I'm like you, I love to plan out so I know where I'm going, where I'm heading. Everything's got to be planned out for me. But the weirdest thing is normally if I practice too much, I end up screwing up more than I would have if I just hop into it.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely over practice singing and my voice starts to feel tired in that way. You're like, oh gosh, I pushed it too far. When it comes to like talking before the song, I will have I don't usually practice that. I mean, I don't know if you do doing what you do on the radio, but I try to have like a general idea, and I just kind of hope that it ends up sounding
Sticks
cool.
to that.
Or like I'll play some chords and I'm like, now it's emotional, and like I'll feed off of the audience.
Well, you asked me if I'm that way. I mean, look, you can see all the note cards I've got planned out that I'm sitting here for like 15 minutes before the interview just going through everything so that I have an idea. And then I get into the interview and I screw everything up. So I don't know.
No, you're doing great.
Well, thank you, Linney. Congratulations on one more day. Congratulations on your EP that's going to be coming out, which is amazing. Tell us about that.
It's called Desert Dream, and we start with the forest and we end in the desert, which is very much like my personal journey through life. There's a song. Well, I guess I haven't announced the track listing, but there is a song called Desert Dream on the EP that I wrote with one of my best friends, Lena Regan, who decided to move to Australia during the pandemic and open a recording studio. But she and I wrote Electric Kids together.
Oh, a tritonal. Very good song.
Mm-hmm. And City of Angel. Like, we've written so many times, and I really wanted to have her on my EP. And it is a song about falling in love with the desert. Going out to Joshua Tree. She actually got married in Joshua Tree. And we were really interested in this concept that like nothing can quite survive without the risk. Like everything in the desert is so tough. Like there's not a lot of support there. And sometimes it feels like following a dream feels like that too. And when everything feels like it's against you, you know, you just keep persevering because that's your focus. And, you know, that's coming to the point of releasing this EP and like really fighting for these songs, like I've said, to keep them my own and to be able to tell them that way, like has been a dream. And I'm excited to share that with everyone.
So is there anything secret you could tell us about the EP?
I'm actually featuring Morgan Madison on my EP.
Nice. Can I just tell you how happy I am for his glow up right now? Like, he's opening up for Deadmau5 on tour. He did the Red Rocks shows. I mean, he had you on one of his songs, which is great.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him. He's just like the nicest person too.
Like, he's so nice that it's one of those things where you question it. You're like, there's no way he is that nice.
No, he is. He is. I spent the weekend with him for that Red Rock show, and he's just the nicest person.
He truly is. So, back to the EP. He's on the EP?
He is. He's on the lead single. We decided, I had this opportunity with the record deal to treat people the way that I would like to be treated as a vocalist. And so I wanted to, flip that and have him join a song that I actually wrote with Lux Tides. I don't know if you know her.
Oh, come on. How dare you? How dare you? Of course I know Danny. She is so amazing.
She is fantastic. We wrote a song and we sent it to Morgan, and he just killed the production. So that's what I think they're going to be pushing to radio. But I'll send you all the links.
That is so amazing. Congratulations on that. Can't wait to hear all the songs on it. Linney, thank you so much for your time on America's Dance 30. So awesome chatting with you.
Thank you for having me.